Am I the a-hole for telling my cousin she can't wear a white gown to my wedding? Hey everyone, I 28F recently got into a pretty awkward situation with my cousin/close friend Tanya 27F. We've been friends since middle school. She's basically my sister. We've always supported each other through everything, so I never thought we'd have an argument over something like this. I'm getting married soon, and Tanya is one of my bridesmaids. She's been super involved in planning, which I've really appreciated because I'm under much stress. But recently, she told me she wants to wear a white dress to my wedding. At first, I thought she was joking. When I realized she was serious, I reminded her that wearing white to someone else's wedding is disrespectful, and I told her how she was one of the people who helped enforce that rule at other weddings that we've been to, which I thought was weird because why is it only at my wedding? She even made a huge deal about it when we went to a mutual friend's wedding last year. She got emotional and told me why it was so important to her. Tanya's first marriage was a disaster. I don't want to give much personal info, but it was rushed. Her ex's family controlled everything, and she never got to have the wedding she truly wanted. She always imagined herself in a beautiful white gown, but her wedding ended up being a quick courthouse ceremony with a plain dress. She told me that wearing a white gown to my wedding would help her feel like she was finally getting to experience that always wanted to be part of a beautiful wedding, feeling special, and having that bridal moment she never got. I felt awful hearing that, but I told her that if she wears white, she would be out of my wedding. I understand why this means so much to her, but at the same time, it's my wedding. I don't want to be a bridezilla, think I was too harsh, but I also don't want my bridesmaid showing up in a white gown. I gently told her that I love her and I understand why this is emotional for her, but my wedding day isn't the time for her to have her bridal moment. It's mine. I may have been in the wrong here when I said, your sad marriage is not my fault. Get a grip on life and maybe grow up. She got really quiet and said she thought I of all people would understand. Now, things feel tense between us. I think I was too harsh. The wedding hasn't happened yet, but I'm worried this is going to put a wedge between us. I don't want her to feel dismissed, but I also feel like my boundaries are reasonable and I feel really bad about what I said. Tomorrow, we have a family dinner, so I hope everything blows over before then. So am I the a-hole for not wanting her to wear white gown in my wedding?
Here are the top comments.
Not the a-hole. This is a very well-known rule. And she is literally doing it for the reason you don't do it, because she wants to feel like the bride. That's the weird part.
Not the a-hole. If she wants the bridal experience, she needs to plan and pay for a vow renewal for her own bridal moment. Or, if she is unmarried, she needs to find herself a new groom for her own do-over wedding, not stealing someone's moment just because hers was ruined. If not, remove her from your bridal party so that your wedding would not be ruined by her.
Am I the a-hole for hanging up on my family when my sister just had her baby? I 34F have two sisters who I'll call Sally 31F and Bia 28F. I am close to both, or thought I was. Bia got married a few years ago and had been having fertility issues. She and her husband finally conceived through IVF, and I was ecstatic for her when I found out she was pregnant. There have been a few times over the years where I've felt purposely left out of things. I was the only one who never got an invitation to Bia's graduation. She thought I wouldn't want to go. When our grandfather passed away, they had a big family get-together a few days later. I was the only one not invited. They didn't think I'd want to go again. When Bia had her baby shower, she organized it on a day where she knew I wouldn't be able to attend. Although upset at missing out, I dropped off at my parents' a beautiful hamper full of things I'd been buying for the baby and Bea, and included a handmade blanket that one of my aunts recently passed hand-knitted for my little boy when she found out I was pregnant 6 years ago. Throughout her pregnancy, Bea has said that the day she had the baby, she only wanted our parents and her husband's parents to visit the hospital, and that then they wanted the first 24 hours at home by themselves, with no visitors as they have a dog, and wanted him to get used to baby first. Totally understandable and fine by me. Bea has had multiple medical complications throughout her pregnancy, which has meant she had to have an early C-section. I spoke to Bia the day before and told her my day was clear at work, but not a lot on, and that if she needed me, she knew where I was, and that I couldn't wait to hear from her. We didn't know the gender or anything, so very excited. On the day, I got an FB call around 1 p.m. from Bia, in which she and my dad introduced me to my beautiful nephew. I was delighted. Bia then handed the phone to my mum as a nurse came in. My mum then informed me that Sally was there. My joy turned into devastation. I asked my mum why I hadn't been invited to the hospital too. She said because I was working that they hadn't thought I'd be able to go. I told her that was an issue for me to deal with and that if I'd asked, my manager would have let me leave to enjoy the moment with my family. But instead, they were all there, enjoying that beautiful moment without me. Again, I hung up in tears from my mum. I've removed myself from the family group chat. I spoke to my manager at work who said she would have definitely let me leave for the afternoon and was shocked my family had done that. I messaged my mum afterwards and told her how upset I was, and her response was,
I'm sorry you feel that way.
My manager said she's gaslighting me and said my feelings are absolutely valid. But was I overreacting? Am I the a-hole for hanging up on my family?
Here are the top comments.
Not the a-hole. This isn't about one missed event. It's a consistent pattern of your family excluding you. I go low contact with all of them because they clearly don't value you as a part of the family.
Not the a-hole. They knew you wanted to be there and made a decision for you without even asking. That's incredibly disrespectful. I'm sorry you feel that way. Classic gaslighting. Your manager nailed it. Your family doesn't care about you at all.
Not the a-hole. You're not overreacting, especially since this happened multiple times. You're allowed to remove yourself from a crappy situation.
Am I the a-hole for telling my vegan friend that I don't want to come over for Thanksgiving dinner? I 54F have a friend 55F who went vegan 10 years ago. We've been friends for 20 years or more. We have a large group of 15 to 20 friends, and there are a few of us that switch off cooking dinner on Thanksgiving for whoever is in town. Since N went vegan, we've always accommodated her dietary restrictions with at the very least some tofurkey, one side dish, and one dessert being strictly vegan. This year, Anne jumped in early and for the first time ever said she wanted to cook Thanksgiving this year. Not a problem. Until she informed us in the group chat dinner will be 100% vegan. Some of us offered to bring more omnivore offerings, including a turkey, and she insisted we eat vegan while at her house. She declared that vegan food tastes exactly the same as omnivore food. It does not. I've been to her house and choked down bean burgers and chocolate cake and probably a dozen other meals, each of which she insisted tasted just like the real thing. She even tried to fool me once with a Beyond Burger, insisting it was a regular hamburger. I have only found a limited number of vegan dishes I enjoy, and none of them have ever been made by her. After thinking it over and discussing it with my husband, we decided to privately tell her we were bowing out of dinner on Thanksgiving this year. I told her I wanted turkey, mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie that were made with traditional ingredients. I could have lied and said we had plans to travel to see family, but I don't want to lie. Anne has become angrier and angrier with me since I told her this about a week ago. Then she went and complained to some of the women in our group about me refusing to attend just because she's cooking. Which is sort of true but still made me angry. So I ended explaining to the other ladies that we all very considerately make vegan dishes just for her at every party and get-together any of us throw, and it's really unreasonable for her to insist that I strictly adhere to her dietary choices when I have never demanded the same from her. So that blew up because all the ladies have now jumped to my way of thinking and decided they will have Thanksgiving at one of their houses instead. We will not be attending their Thanksgiving either. My husband says we probably should have lied about going out of town, or at the very least I should have not explained my reasoning to the other ladies. I've decided to stay out of it from here on out, but somehow Anna blames me for the whole debacle. Am I the a-hole for declining to attend a vegan Thanksgiving?
Here are the top comments.
Pescatarian here. I am pro-food choice. There are plenty of vegetarian or vegan dishes that are lovely by themselves. The ones that almost always suck are the ones that are pretending to be something else. Plain food dress up on a holiday defined by the food served will go poorly. Not the a-hole.
She is completely within her rights to allow only vegan food into her home. She is not required to accommodate your preferences, and you are allowed to decline her invitation for whatever reason, not the a-hole.